Welcome to another episode of the Two for One podcast. I'm your host, Dion, and alongside me, of course, is my co-host, live from the Garden State, perhaps the biggest Jonas Valanciunas fan there is outside of, Denver or Lithuania, the one and only Nate Taylor. Nate, how are you doing on this Saturday evening?
I didn't know I was such a big Jonas Valanciunas fan. I mean, I appreciate his game and who he is as a player, but it's a hefty label to throw on me right
Yeah,
there.
we made the Instagram post about him.
All right,
We
you got
mentioned him
me.
multiple times, I think, in
I
the pod. I
have
mean,
14 posters of Jonas Valanciunas in my
I don't know,
closet.
just, how many podcasts have mentioned JV multiple times this season besides, like a Nuggets
Fair,
spot.
fair.
But
I'll give it to
speaking of
you.
the Nuggets, joining us today, we have a guest, longtime friend of the show, and I'm gonna officially stamp him as the resident Nuggets fan of the Two for One podcast. My friend Nick Ruscetti is here. Nick, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me back. Last time was good, and hopefully the coach doesn't get fired and the GM doesn't get fired right after the show again.
All right, now I think David Adam's job is safe, but you never know. Yeah, you're one for one in the last episode. But Nuggets are coming off a narrow 1 point victory over the Hawks last night. Just a calm 40 piece for Jokic and a 23-point comeback win on the road. I did originally have like sort of a generic question to get us started, but I figured we'll just go here because this was a fun one last night. So what was just like your biggest takeaway from last night's game?
Dude, this team is so good, and it's so frustrating that our two best defenders are out. Like, since Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown have been out, I think the Nuggets defensive rating is over 130, which is
Oof.
embarrassing. But with that being said, they're also the third team ever with 350-point scorers in a season. I mean, they are so good, but yet at the same time, so confusing. The other confusing stat they have right now is they have four straight home losses,
Oh,
and they've only
that's
have six
rare.
losses on the season. Yeah, and the
Yeah.
Nuggets always win at home because it's like you have the altitude, you have the advantage. But there's reasons why I think that is, and we can get into that later. But yeah, no, last night this is Jamal Murray's best start to a season, probably in his career.
Yeah,
I
unequivocally.
mean, he deserves to be an all-star this year, in my opinion, especially if the Nuggets keep this pace up. They have like 9 straight road wins or something like that. Jamal, 50 points the other night on another super efficient 50-point game. He had one earlier in his career against like Cleveland. That was insane. But he had like 10 threes the other night. I mean, I don't know. Jamal's been the person that's like impressed Nuggets Nation, or like, yeah, just the most, pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah. There's been a lot of talk about Jamal Murray actually getting off to a hot start to a season. He obviously like infamously always starts pretty slow, but yeah, he just looks way more explosive, just a lot sharper than we're used to seeing at the beginning of the season. Yeah, he was great last night too.
I mean, yeah, we're getting playoff Jamal, but I mean, a lot earlier in the year. He's been really fun to watch. I think overall his playmaking every year has gotten just a little bit better too, even if the assist numbers haven't consistently creeped up every year, even though they did definitely go up from where they were at earlier in his career. I think just people underappreciate Jamal Murray a lot of the time, and him having this hot start to the season will finally hopefully give him the recognition. Where if the Nuggets are a top three seed, I want to see him in that All-Star game. I think he deserves to have at least one nod for all that he's done so far in his career.
For sure. Yeah, I'm still like it's a little early for me to be like making my own ballot and everything, but I think he's definitely got to be on the short list of
He's one of
West
those
stars.
guys that he gets the extra narrative boost for me because he deserves, like, I'd want to see him if it's close between him and, let's say, I don't know, Devin Booker or something. I don't know. I'm just making that up.
Well,
Like,
it's
that's
going to
probably
be
not a.
Americans versus international players.
Oh
And
shit, I
that'll make
forgot
it
about that. So
that'll make it
he's
really fun and
international.
exciting.
Actually, he's international, so that makes it
That's what I
easier
Yeah,
mean.
for
he's
him
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
Canadian,
in.
bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
so
But,
that
he's
but like,
probably
how
got
is that going to
a better
work?
chance.
Yeah, how does that going to work? Because like, I remember the U.S. national team, like they had like Keldon Johnson on it. Like, how is that just going to work when it comes to All
I
Star
think I
game?
want to say it's still going to be 12 from each conference, but it's going to be 8 international players and 16 Americans, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I think it's a terrible idea. I think they saw what happened in hockey with like the Four Nations thing, and they were just going to try to like piggyback off of that momentum, and it just doesn't make sense. Like you're
They
not
just
just
don't care the
guaranteed to
same
have
way.
1/3 international caliber All Stars. Like it just doesn't. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. We'll see how
Josh
it
Hart
shakes
on
out.
the All Star team soon.
Who'd you say?
I said Josh Hart on the All Star team soon. I
Oh,
was just kidding
jeez.
because how many? I mean, the reality of I think the top 20 players right now are. I'd have to go through. I feel like half of them might be half, if not more than half, are international.
I'll pull up my list. So yeah, because it's pretty
So
close.
off the
Obviously,
top of
like
my head, Jokic, SGA,
the top four
Wemby,
guys. Yeah.
Giannis, Luca. Who else am I not? Shengun is in there somewhere. Uh, is Markkinen might no Markkinen is not top
Markin
20.
Markin's Finland. He's Finland though.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's top 20. I don't know if I'm putting Markkinen in top 20 right now. But right now he's got to be an all-star probably. So he slides in there as one of the international people. Who
Yeah.
else? Dion, am I missing anyone? Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah, I don't think so. Siakam maybe, but like the
Yeah.
Pacers aren't getting an all-star, I don't think.
No, probably
The
not.
reason why it
Kenny's
worked in
probably not an
hockey
all-star.
though, the reason why it worked in hockey though is because they hadn't played best on best in 8 years. Like the USA, like the Olympics were last year for basketball.
Right.
And a lot of the players, like a lot of the international guys, actually do go to the World Cup of basketball, unlike they do in like hockey, because they don't really have that because NHL like restricts it all. Like they just have the U21s. So that's why it was such a big deal in hockey. I agree that they're trying to piggyback off, but it's just NBA players just don't care the same way. They get paid way more than NHL guys too. It's like a whole thing. So
what did you guys? I saw the other day, I forget who it was that said it. That's my fault. But they said that I think it might have been Dwayne Wade. That could be completely wrong. But they said that the All-Star game should happen in the summer, in the off season, after the season, and that players would care more. And I thought that was ridiculous. They said it should be like a vacation. But that's going to make people not going to care more. You're going to have fucking Kevin Durant hung over high off of 4 blunts playing in the All-Star game.
Yeah, that's like the Pro Bowl. They did that in the NFL, and like that, yeah, it's like a vacation or whatever. They used to
they
go
don't
to
even have a
Hawaii.
game anymore.
Yeah, it's so shit. They actually just got rid of all of it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know that. That shows how much I'm still keeping up with the
that
NFL.
goes to show how much that the Pro Bowl appear like the Pro Bowl.
But back when, even when the Pro Bowl was at its best, like it was in Hawaii, and it was like a vacation. The guys were just hanging out, playing just like a lighthearted game of football. Like
we
you're
need
not
to do
gonna
like a
get
study into what happened though, because why is every sport except for baseball? Because baseball is objectively hard to not try in. Like you're not like if you're gonna hit the ball, you're not gonna hit the ball, and you're gonna pitch well if you like. But if for football, like you had Sean Taylor almost killing people in Pro Bowl games back in the 2000s. You had Kobe.
Von Miller, man.
Yeah,
like tries so hard in these.
No, I think Nick said it. It's the money that they make now, and just like the risk that they put themselves at just by playing an extra game. That's the other thing with baseball too. What's one extra game to a baseball player, right? Like they're playing twice as many as the NBA. So there's that part.
But I feel like that's how it should be for basketball, because like the chances that you're playing in like you play an 82 game season, that chance that one extra game you're gonna get hurt in, I don't know.
The one thing that's different about the NBA versus other sports though is like I don't feel like the rivalries as strong anymore. Like back in the day, they used to kind of try in the All-Star game because like Jordan and whatever hated each other. Like Isaiah Thomas, like they used to like actually hate each other. Like I don't think there's like anything like that in the league, except for if you're looking at like I don't know Rudy Gobert and like every player. But other than that, it's like what are you gonna do?
I think that's actually a really valid reason, because especially when you look at the ones that go back years and years, like the Lakers and Celtics aren't a rivalry really anymore. I mean, do the fan bases hate each other? Yeah. Do the players? Probably not.
Was it a rivalry last night?
I think one of the
ass, baby.
Like trying to genuinely not be biased here, I think the Knicks and Pacers are one of the better ones, and even that you have Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton being buddy off the court. So it's like, is there really any real rivalries here when these guys are? Like, even if some of the guys, like I know Josh Hart actually does hate those guys. He said it himself. But when your star player is like butt buddies with, the other team's star player, and you're going head to head and your fan base hates each other, it's kind of hard when you're seeing those two guys just like, go chop it up on a WWE match on Saturday night or whatever it was.
Yeah, it definitely softens the blow. I mean, I feel like the most competitive, like sort of 1v1 moment in recent All-Star memory is literally like Jaylen Brown versus Jason Tatum when they went 1-on-1 like for a couple possessions in a row.
That's why I think everyone talks about the 1v1 tournament, and that would actually be something where people's pride and ego are at stake. So they'd probably try, but I also just don't see people willing to participate in that, because if they lose, then it's like, oh, I look like a fucking idiot
forever. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But to shift back to the Nuggets though, I'm glad, Nick, that pretty much right away you mentioned the absence of one Christian Brown and Aaron Gordon and the impact that it's had on their defense. That was where I really wanted to go first. I just wanted to ask you, like, which player do you think is going to have to step up the most? Obviously, they've been out for a little while now, but who do you see like having just the biggest role increase in the coming weeks as they're out?
For sure, Peyton Watson. And this is such a golden opportunity for him because the Nuggets decided not to try to extend him after by the deadline for his rookie contract. So he's probably going to go test the market now, which kind of sucks. He's going to still be a restricted free agent. And I don't know if we're going to be able to bring him back, but P.Y. has had such a golden opportunity to start. He's played really well. I think he's averaging like a block per game, if not more. Like he's been the guy that he's had to put the most, like they've needed the most from him since them being out, especially since Aaron Gordon went out. Maybe not as much when Christian Brown went out because like if I had to rank Nuggets defenders and like the importance of just their intensity on the court, Aaron Gordon's number one. Like I had this argument with my roommate the other day. I think Aaron Gordon's the second most important player on the Denver Nuggets by far. Jamal's really good. Don't get me wrong. Jamal's awesome, and we need him to be like himself and stuff like that. But without Aaron Gordon, it's just the Nuggets are a completely different team, especially in the front court. Like it's just night and day difference.
Yeah, I've been afraid to maybe say that publicly, but I've kind of quietly felt like Aaron Gordon was the second most important player. Like Jamal Murray's more individually talented, but you talk about the structure, the infrastructure of the Nuggets, like yeah, Aaron Gordon is so essential.
Because I think Aaron Gordon is one of those rare guys who's a glue guy that also can act like a star player on a lot of nights where he's going out and giving you 50 points on 10 made threes. I know he's not going to probably do that again, but he can explode for 30 plus and hit, 5+ threes in the game and also be the best defender on the court. So it's rare that you have a guy who, fits the Draymond role of fitting all of the pieces together, but also can go out and be a 20+ point per game scorer, be a good passer, be a connective piece on offense, even when they're not, having the ball in their hands. I love Aaron Gordon. Like I am so happy that watching him early in his career, I was really upset that he was a bust. He was like one of those players that bothered me by him being a bust. Then he goes to the Nuggets and just every single year the guy gets better. And how about Spencer Jones though?
I was just going to say the LinkedIn legend.
Oh,
after he's gone out the past few games, I mean, the past two haven't been as much. He hasn't gotten as much time, but he had those 2 games where I was just like, this guy's a good NBA player. It's like, what have you seen from him that you really think he adds to the Nuggets without Aaron Gordon?
He's one of those utility guys. I like him because he's like a more all right. So like NBA players are they're kind of like they got the money and they are kind of sad. He's more of like a normal person, partly because he's on a 2-way contract and whatever. His jump shot's crazy, but it works. Like I'm not sure if you've seen it, but it's like
it's
up here. It's like that. It's so ugly. But no, he's a good shooter. He's a good player. And the thing about him is, I think he's getting told by Bruce Brown because Bruce Brown mentioned this a lot. Is if you start the season hard and like not fouling, but doing what Lou Dort does. Like Lou Dort can get away with a bunch of stuff because he just does. He's just a physical guy. So he's like, I think somebody's in his ear telling him you had to start physical because there's a lot of times where I think he fouls when he doesn't get called. But like he's a good defender for that. He's long and he's a utility guy. I mean, he's your perfect like 11th man on a team or 12th man on a team. And he might be a difference in a playoff series. Like if we need, like say somebody's going crazy and we need to put him on someone for like 5 minutes, He's not going to kill us and stuff like that. But yeah, no, I mean, I think he's been great. Like it's been awesome to see his growth, especially since last year. And I mean, like I already said, he's a cool guy. So I like Spencer Jones.
Gotcha. Kind of funny how they've gotten more out of Spencer Jones in like 5 games than they've gotten out of Zeke Naji in like 4 or 5 years.
Oh boy.
Why is he still on the roster, bro?
That's the only like real blemish I think you can look to when you look at the Nuggets like past moves. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty much all.
Yeah, it was one thing to draft him, but then the contract they gave him after all that production that he had.
He had some dirt on somebody.
But yeah, it's been crazy to see Spencer Jones starting all these games for them. Like he was a complete nobody. Like I remember seeing like one of his LinkedIn posts and being like, "Why is there an NBA player posting on LinkedIn?" That was last season, and now all of a sudden he's like playing a pretty big role for this team.
I think that just goes to show that the Nuggets are one of the best teams out there when it comes to player development and trusting their young players and instilling confidence in these young guys. Because how many times have we seen it's like, oh, the Nuggets don't have any bench depth, and then someone, either a Peyton Watson or a Christian Brown or somebody steps up and just becomes one of the better role players like in the league, seemingly. I mean, Bruce Brown came out of nowhere, really. He was decent with the Nets, but he came to Denver and he became one of the better role players in the league. I think Denver does such a good job at finding anything. They get the most out of absolutely everybody except for Zeke Naji.
Well, I was gonna say, unfortunately, there's one other player in that category.
Oh, Dario Saric.
Well, no. That's I mean, there was no development left. Yeah,
oh man.
I was speaking unfortunately about my guy Julian Strother, someone who I really thought last season was gonna have like a nice step up. Like I remember thinking like, oh, Julian Strother or Christian Brown, like who's like the future 2 guard for the Nuggets? But no, I mean obviously. I mean, how much is Julian Strother even playing on a regular basis at this point?
He's hurt. He's hurt.
Oh, okay.
What I will say about Strother is he's actually kind of hindered by this injury because Adelman doesn't want to like split the bench from the starters. That's why Spencer Jones, they just put him in the starting lineup and then just kept the rotation kind of similar. Like maybe gave Bruce a little bit more minutes, maybe moved P-Watt up a little bit, played the 2 for a little bit. Adelman's very keen on keeping the bench and starters together. The Nuggets haven't had a good bench in years. So it's honestly been refreshing because when Jokic doesn't come out the game, then it's not like we get down 10 points instantly anymore. So that's nice. But the thing about Strother is it's like he's just a specialist. He's a 3-point specialist. He's just a shooter. He's supposed to be some sort of spark off the bench. Like you want
Right.
him to conduct something when he's on the bench, when he's out there with the bench unit for the 8 minutes or 12 minutes a game that he's out there. Maybe hit a three, like get your shots in, get like 4 shots in, and like if you make 2, that's great. Like that's kind of the role that Strother plays. So I don't know. Strother, I like Strother also, like because he's a cool person, but also I don't know how his fit is long term with the Nuggets. Put it that way, unless because it's very telling to me that they brought in Tim Hardaway Jr.,
Right.
which maybe that is like a good thing for 1 year to get Strother ready for like what that role should be. Because ideally, you want Strother being what Tim Hardaway Jr. has been for the
100%.
Nuggets. But then if you have a Tim Hardaway Jr. who's a more vet, like he's a vet, he's been around, he's been on good teams and stuff like that, you're gonna play him over that, like over Strother any day of the week, even if he has learning stuff to do and stuff. So I don't know. Strother is in a weird spot right now.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
Speaking of
I'm
shooters,
trying to-
though.
I was trying to figure out where we
sorry.
were in the Tim Hardaway Jr. cycle. I actually wanted to. This is a perfect transition for me to ask you about that. Because as a Knicks fan, I've seen the Tim Hardaway Jr. cycle in full effect. Feels like he goes from Tim Hardaway Jr. Is on fire. Oh, we can't win without Tim Hardaway Jr. Then we've got to trade Tim Hardaway Jr. Tim Hardaway Jr. is the worst player in the league. Have you felt like the lows at all with him so far yet? Because I feel like overall this is the most consistent I've seen him start a season with any team. And I guess with having Jokic, there's more hope for that consistency to continue than there ever has been. I just wanted to know your thoughts on him if you've gotten to experience like the lows of THJ yet.
This is what I'll say about him. He's Michael Porter Jr. reincarnated, but a little bit worse. And it's fun if he's on the bench. Like Nuggets fan, like we're happy to have a shooter. We don't get like Nuggets fans haven't really had shooters very much, and we kind of understand it. Like shooters are streaky. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. There's a perfect example. But yeah, no, I mean, I think he's been good, and he's been a good like guy in the room. Like I wouldn't point to him as a problem. I also wouldn't say he's the reason why we're winning games. Yeah, he's won us a game or two this year because he's just like went inferno for a second. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know if that cycle is going to continue the same way because we don't need as much as him as other teams. Like he started on a lot of teams. Like even did he start on the Pistons last year?
Yeah, no, he was a starter last year.
Okay.
That's what I mean. It's like he's not gonna hurt us because he's not the main starter, and he's a good fill-in starter when like CB's down or someone like that. You know what I mean? It's like fine.
And there's been games I feel like I've watched where he's off and he just doesn't play as much, and the Nuggets can kind of fill his role anyways because they do such a good job with that. What have you thought of David Adelman so far? Like, are you really happy with the transition? Do you think the team is better off than they were with Mike Malone?
Dude, I love David Adelman. I wish he had the same spice as Malone because Malone, Adelman says some crazy quotes, but he says it so monotone. Like his voice is just like even the whole time. Like Malone will like call out a ref and he'll like say it in the most fiery way possible, and like you can like blow that up on social media and whatever. Like Adelman doesn't do that. But there's a lot of Adelman that like there's still some learning clearly. Like he admits it all the time. Like he'll say after a game, like, "Oh, that's something I needed to be better at," and stuff like that. But he's not. The Nuggets are in a good spot now than what they were because Malone was good to grow the team up. Now the Nuggets are grown up. Adelman's a good he just puts the guys in the right position.
Yeah. That sounds so familiar to a situation that I went through with Mr. Tom Thibodeau.
Oh yeah, he's a similar.
I think him and Malone are very similar in the way that they're great for setting a foundation. I mean, Malone obviously won a ring because he had Jokic, and he's not a bad coach by any means. It's just sometimes you need that extra guy to take the team to the next step.
Now, is Mike Brown that guy for the Knicks though?
Offensively, they've scored 130 points in like 12 games, so I'm gonna say right now it's going pretty well. He has Karl Anthony Towns on his team. He can't do much defensively.
Fair enough.
Anyways, this is not a Knicks podcast.
I wanted to ask earlier about Cam Johnson, though, because obviously he had a really, really rough start to the season. He's definitely stabilized. He's back up to like 40% from three. Do you see, like, I still haven't seen, like, because when he was on the Nets, he was starting to become, and obviously, the Nets is kind of like a barren wasteland over there. Anyone gets to do anything, but he was starting to develop a little bit more as an on-ball scorer, a guy that can get you like 20 plus on any, like maybe not any given night, but someone that can kind of pop off here and there. Don't really feel like I've seen that from him this season. Do you still see him continuing to like continue this progression and have those sort of nights, or do you see him fitting in more as just like a role guy for this team?
No, for sure. I think he's on the way up. Like, here's the thing about Cam. So he started off, he was doing everything right. He just couldn't freaking hit a shot to save his life. And I have a theory about that. So I take photos, obviously, at Nuggets games. I don't know if I want Cam Johnson to already hear this, but every time he shoots, I swear to God, his eyes are closed. It is very crazy. I have so many photos of Cam Johnson with his eyes closed. Regardless, he's hitting now. He's had a couple games with 20. Like I think last night, in the fourth quarter, he started the fourth quarter with three threes, like back to back to back. I mean, he has those moments, but the truth about his role is it's really hard to be that guy in this offense. Like, and Michael Porter Jr. was a perfect example of like why he struggled in it is because you only get these guys need rhythm. Like they need to get more shots up. You need to like find the ball. But like when it's Jokic and Murray, then Gordon's probably the third option. Some nights it is the other person. So it's just like I don't know. It's kind of under talked about how hard it is to be this guy in this offense where you're just expected to get the ball. And if you get it, you better put up the right shot. What I will also say about Cam is where it's been night and day difference defense versus Michael Porter Jr.'s defense and his ball handling. Like Michael Porter Jr. has no bag, bro. That man, like, he did the same move every single time. Cam Johnson, you can trust him to take the ball up the court with pressure. And Adelman was also talking about that. You can trust him to play make. You can trust him to facilitate. You can trust him to do anything that you want him to do, really. So his basketball IQ is way higher. And Jokic, everyone's talked about it. It's like, because everybody's asked the players about, oh, what do you think about Cam's slow start? It's like, is what it is. And even Cam got asked, and he was like, I'm going to say the same thing as I said when I was missing. I just have it. I just need to do it. I just need to do it. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's just ups and flows. Like I'll get there, guys. And he got there. So I think there will be more nights of like 20 points and stuff. I think he's already had a couple. So I don't know. I don't think he's ever going to be he's not the guy, but he was never that guy. Even in Brooklyn, especially in Phoenix, he wasn't that guy. But
Yeah.
In Brooklyn, he was never that guy. Like he was the guy, but wasn't that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. I get you. I look at him as kind of like, assuming Brown and Gordon are going to be healthy. I look at Cam Johnson as like probably the biggest swing factor when it comes to like a playoff run. Like if he's going to be a guy that can win you a game in a 7-game series, like that could be the difference for sure. Because I could see him being a guy that maybe like loses you a game if he goes like 0 for 9 or something.
I mean, notoriously, Michael Porter Jr. is really good.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. You know what?
And so if he's better than Mike, I'm happy.
That's a good point.
Well, Michael Porter Jr. is going to be able to turn that playoff narrative around this season with the Nets. They'll get a good crack at it. I think something actually underrated that you said too was that the pressure or the inability to be that guy in the Nuggets offense because Jokic is so otherworldly efficient that if you're not shooting 65+% true shooting percentage on your isolations, then it's not worth you isolating and it's not worth you trying to create your own shot because 99% of the time Jokic is going to create a better look for either himself or his teammates. It's really hard to be that ISO scorer. There's room for one. It's Jamal Murray, and there's not really anywhere else that you can fit that person in, which is why I still like the trade of getting Cam Johnson.
For sure. All right, I want to zoom out a little bit and take a look at how, the Nuggets kind of stack up in the West. 16-6 right now. They are tied with both the Lakers and the Rockets for the number 2 seed. They are the number 1 offense in the NBA with a bullet. They are a full 2+ points ahead of the New York Knicks. Shout out to Nate. For the best offense in the league. 18th on defense. Now, it wasn't that bad when they still had Brown and Gordon, but obviously they've tanked quite a bit. Like you said, Nick, 130 points per game in their absence. So who do you kind of look at, non-OKC, of course, as the team that you kind of just worry about the most in the West?
Nobody. I'm totally worried about OKC. I mean, like, obviously the Timberwolves have had our number the last few years, so, like, I can't, like, discount that. But, like, Rockets, like, have seen this story before. If we play them first round, okay, that's going to be a hard series, but I see Nuggets winning in 6. And you go down the list. Like, it's just, like, there's nobody I'm really looking at, like, that's a I feel confident about the Nuggets against everyone except for OKC.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean,
I think that's how a lot of fans feel right now because I'm like, yeah, the Knicks are good, but then all I can do is every game is harp on, wow, Cat sucks and we can't have that to beat OKC. And that's all I can think about is OKC. They're like a poison in like my head because they are so fucking good. Jokic having Jokic alone, it gives you the best chance, I think, at beating them. But I don't see like even the Spurs, who I think are a good team with Wemby. I still see the Nuggets winning that series. Like,
yeah,
I'm a lot more confident this year with the Nuggets against Minnesota, I think, than last year. Even with Cam Johnson just having that added shooting and the improved bench with Bruce Brown, I think yeah, if you redo that series, I think the Nuggets win it more times than the Timberwolves do.
Yeah, I don't know how many times Rudy Gobert hits that turnaround fadeaway jumper. I will never forget
That
that
was two
moment.
years ago, though. That was 2 years ago. Last year
No,
we lost to OKC in seven. So, but yeah, I agree.
yeah,
I
OKC
mean,
was.
the difference this year from last year is the bench, bro. Like,
Yeah,
that's what it is. And you can win more regular season games without freaking killing Jokic every night because you have a bench. And that's a lot on ownership. It's a lot on the GM change. It's a lot on stuff like that. There's a lot of different reasons why that has been changed from these past years because, like, there's words that, like, Booth really wanted to do a lot of moves and, like, he got shut down. Like, he wasn't allowed to do them because, like, Malone and him weren't getting along, and there was a bunch of they weren't allowing things to go on because of the beef, is
Mhm.
what the words are behind the scenes.
Yeah.
So the fact that this year, like instantly to start the offseason after they signed the two, well, we basically have two GMs. It's like I don't know who the real GM is, but they call the Tinzer Wallace. That's pretty much Ben Tinzer and John Wallace. It's like they both are the GMs basically. And
Gotcha.
as soon as they get in charge, Cam Johnson, Valanciunas, Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway Jr. You just all of a sudden like everything Nuggets fans have asked for the past 2 years since we won the championship. Depth. We need a backup center. We need a real shot. All that stuff, and they got it. So it's very telling.
For sure.
that
But
was
yeah,
like when the Bulls had Gar Forman and John Paxson, except for it was like the worst thing ever, and everyone
The
hated it.
inverse of that, yeah. Oh my God. Not that it's, it hasn't exactly improved, but um, you know, but yeah,
I just meant the two names because it's a
yeah, I get you, I
dual
get you.
front office duo.
I think my answer in terms of like biggest threat to the Nuggets besides OKC would probably be the Rockets. They played an incredibly close game. Just what was it 2 weeks ago at this point? But I just think with
yeah.
their size and just how good they've been able to turn this group offensively, like I just did not expect Houston to be this good offensively. So that combined with just the size that they have, especially um, just the way that Şengün is just continuing to improve. I just I think the Rockets are really impressive. But like you said, you kind of seen the story before. Like if it was Nuggets in six, wouldn't really shock me. But I just think the Rockets probably have the highest ceiling of any other group.
Yeah, I think
Oh
for me,
yeah, for
right,
sure. Out of all the other teams, for sure, they have the highest ceiling in the West, other than OKC and Denver.
I think it is crazy that like LA is like the second seed, and still a lot of us aren't taking them seriously.
I just don't see
Myself
it
included.
defensively. Like,
Yeah, I
yeah, I just
know.
don't see it. Like, obviously, Luca and Reeves have been ridiculous as a pairing, and then I think LeBron will start to like find his way as like the third option on this team, and they'll be pretty scary. But DeAndre Ayton, LeBron front court with like Rui as their like I just don't really see how they stop anyone.
I got it. It's
Um,
like right now for me, it's like OKC is one, and then you have two A and two B is the Nuggets and the Rockets.
that's fair. I do still see the Nuggets as like I wouldn't really hesitate to pick the Nuggets over the Rockets in a series. So I guess I would probably put them sort of on their own tier, but. Yeah, that's a pretty clear top three for me in the Western Conference. But I think with that, that'll pretty much wrap us up. Unless Nate, you had anything else you wanted to get to? Nick, you had like maybe like a Jokic MVP case that you wanted to get started or anything like that?
Do I need a case this
No, I
year?
mean,
This is the 1 year. Finally, I don't have to make a case. He's
Although
gonna win it this year.
I
He's
saw
gonna win it this year.
I saw someone saying SGA is or the Jokic shouldn't even have a case over SGA for MVP, and I was like, what?
yeah, the like the SGA not playing in fourth quarters thing is going to be very polarizing. I think as
You
far as
can't
his
be an
MVP
MVP and
goes.
not like that's not really a knock to him. His team is just too good for you to be the most valuable player. You take SJ off the team, they're still very good. You take Jokic off the Nuggets, they're not a playoff team. like
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I think we
they
should run
should
away
end
with
there.
that
He's
one.
putting up video game stats. SGA is great, but like Jokic is having the best season we might see, for the next
Oh
30
my
years.
gosh. Bro, like the other night against the Mavericks and they lost. He had like 29, 20, and
Like
it was like
AD.
29, 20, and 13, and nobody said anything.
Yeah,
Nobody
it's
talks
just
about it because
casual at this
it's
point.
so
It's
used
just
to it
regular.
now.
Yeah,
It's
we just
insane what
expect
he's
it.
doing.
Yeah, if Jokic doesn't put up a triple double or like pretty much damn near, what do they call it? The Sombor triple double? What do
Yeah,
they call
sophomore
it?
doubles. It's
The
like when they're
Sombor double,
when
yeah.
he's one step out,
Yeah,
one
like
stat
that
off.
that's just like the standard at this point. It's insane. But yeah, I think we can wrap it up here. Nick, thanks so much for coming on once again. Love having you. We'll definitely have you on second half of the season as well. Catching up on the Nuggets once again later in the season. But anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Follow me on Instagram at DNVR Nick, and if you want to check out the DNVR stuff and you're a Nuggets fan or whatever, DNVR has the #1 Denver Nuggets podcast. Avs podcast, Broncos podcast, all that stuff. All the teams are awesome right now, so you're missing out a lot over there. So go check out that. But follow me on Instagram at DNVR Nick. And yeah,
Yeah,
All
we'll link
right.
all his stuff down below so you guys can go just click on those nifty links and then go check him out.
Yes, sir. And thanks everyone for listening. Make sure to subscribe to the pod. Follow us on all socials as well at 2 for 1 Hoops. And we'll be back with another episode on Tuesday. Hope everyone has a great rest of their day.